Trilogy. Right, we haven't quite caught up to where we were earlier, but pretty quickly, might I add. Yeah, so I've kind of slightly caught up to where we were before, so just gonna make sure we get to where we actually need to be, and then kind of just take it from there, because we left off with the testimony. That's what I'm looking for. Testimony about the alibi, not the alibi, the motive. Sacred and Heist, this is where he says about... That's because of the speckled urn, which are basically those just the paint stains. I'm getting through this pretty quickly. Do 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 do. Right. Now we move on to this. A motive for murder. Murder. Right. Right, so apparently just to save any other hassle, I need to present a blackmail letter to this. Objection! Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atney? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's all right. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know. I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You're one to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you got there, Junior? Indeed. Good man up, Mr. Rice. Show us a contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. If you don't want your true identity revealed to the world, come to KB Security at 10 AM. 1 AM, no October 12th, and $50,000. If you don't, I'll make that red damage you'll receive a day instead. Wait. Red diamond. But he only took one diamond / jewel, and that was the Tear of Eminon. And the Tear of Eminon, as we can see in this, is blue. Well, one doesn't. So it'd be the newspaper clipping. Because I remember Kane's list, because I was looking at the prices. I was looking at the prices because of the whole $50,000 thing.
Take that!
Oh. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It was a picture of the jewel Tear of Eminon, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's colour. Colour without a U because it's American. I'm not much for discussing colour myself. According to the clipping, the colour of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel was mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Eminon that Musty Mask stole at all.
Objection!
Objection! And your point is, Mr. Trey? So you're trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else. That is what you're trying to say? Right, Trey. I don't know what you're trying to say. Right, Mr. Rice?
Well, is that what you're trying to say? Right, Nick? Yes.
This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing. And as we discussed, with his ring and everything, naturally, it was you, Detective Atme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You've been personally involved in every single Nasty Mask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring! That is the diamond referred to in the letter, which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you! Order the court, order, I say! It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trey. Uh-oh.
I don't like the way he said that.
Kane Bullard like blackmailing you got me? You for real?
For real?
Yeah,
Yeah, come on, stand up to him.
Well, answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. You don't want your identity revealed to the world? Yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Gatby's identity public an identity he wanted to keep a secret, so just what was the identity? Adme killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret being becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret?
This is what it all comes down to, Nick.
The identity of Luke Atme wanted to keep so desperately keep his Musty Mask out of shoot. Luke Atme was Musty Mask. What? That's my line. What's that supposed to mean? That's my line too. Listen up, you. This is what you've been saying up to this point in time. The witness pretended to be Musty Mask. Oh my goodness. In order to pin the murder on the defendant. In which case you'll want to insist up to and beyond the day you die that Ron DeLay was in fact the Musty Mask. I must say there's some change of heart does my think of you. Ow. Finding a blackmailer. Look at me was a blackmailer.
Objection!
Objection! Hey now, is that a little different from what you've been saying? You said the K-Bullet was the one blackmailing Luke at me. You say that Abby was blackmailing someone else on top of that?
You have to admit, that does sound a little odd.
It's not odd, it's the only thing that makes sense. K-Bullet was blackmailing Luke at me. But Ron Delight was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yeah, just a few days after the tour of Avalon, after that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans for some kind of person, incredibly detailed plans. Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean Ron Delight was actually Master Mask. This is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke at me. Shh! Silence! And now I see it all becoming clear. What is this? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you? You say that I, Luke Apney, was blackmailing Ron Delight, huh? In which case I would naturally know all about his relation to Mask Mask. Well, yeah. Ron Delight started receiving plans for his second crime onward. Correct. Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good point. I mean, you certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot better evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke at me know that Ron Delight was Master Mask? I would assume... This, because of the whole... I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief, trying to be the centre of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. There's a picture of you and Ron Delight in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. But that sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, you couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. That's when you figured it out, Mr. Abney. That's what... What there? What the... Wasn't he supposed to be Master Mask? Oh, no, looks like he wasn't even ace detective.
I can't believe it. He's just a simple slimy blackmailer.
Whatever! A database said was ace detective.
Why, you? How dare you expose me like that?
I mean, I never blacked anyone, but I'm famous British detective, and I'm also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Why, you? How dare you? Damn player! Okay, the sounds of those make lots of really beautiful. I say nothing. Come on, I say this. Son, just come at me. Come at me. There's nothing wrong. I think I'm gonna let me one thing. I'm gonna write all of it. It's enough to make one laugh. My God. It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Adme, if I do say so myself. It was kind of weird as well. Huh. British, please prepare yourself for Mr.
Objection!
Objection! Really? You have more? The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. Ah, nice cup of joe if I say so myself. Actually, I'm using water, but still.
I'm already prepared to take on my work.
Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge.
I'll get much more in your face than that.
It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trade.
What do you mean?
It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Edmy was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't a lonely tale tonight the murderer.
That's right, that's why he's the one who killed Mr.
But there's still one thing you have yet to prove.
What's that?
Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was a kid in security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered.
No way!
Order in the court. Well, Mr. Ace.
This is it, this is the final round. We've got to prove that Abby was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night. Oh, but can you really prove that?
That's long enough, Mr. Trey. I want to hear your answer.
That night, Luke Abby was at KB Security and the defense. Can prove it.
Are you sure?
Huh. Don't you know what to you? You break down and fall into pieces.
Well, there's your proof. Who the Luke Abby was a KB security that night?
Because it's got no fingerprints on it, he wears gloves. This is the proof.
It's true, that is very important. However, I was so foolish as to think it will pass for evidence here.
Mr. Trey, it's time to learn the true flavor of life. The flavor of a special Gato Blend 49.
Well, Mr. Ace.
It's bitter. Very bitter. Come on, Nick, don't give up now. What do I do? Okay, well that's the only thing I had, so maybe not. I can't believe it. But of course. But of course not. But if we hear more of Detective Altman's testimony,
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trey.
what do you mean?
I won't allow for any more testimony, that's what I need.
What?
Have you forgotten? Luke Abby is here after we interrupted his own trial. You have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as Masty Mask.
No! Hello, Sir Lawyer. It seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the Ace Detective, as well as Musty Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as one delights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my Ace Detective-ness.
Order the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness.
I can't believe this. This rate run is... Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and... By then it'll be too late. Huh? Why?
Double jeopardy. That's all the basic rules of any court of law.
Double Jeopardy? Is that something that you see on the show Jeopardy? I don't know. I do like that. You always have to answer with questions, isn't it? What is blank? What is a gavel?
Should the defendant be tried and found innocent in court, the defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental law of all courts. It applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else.
Mr. Abbey will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty is mask to mask, which means
He will be innocent as far as the matter of Mr. Campbell is concerned.
No way!
The fact that you are unable to prove Mr. Abbey's guilt for the crime here means that he will never be again be tried as Campbell's murderer.
Seriously, why do I keep dropping my phone? There's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Cadney, will go free.
You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I'll have to declare there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then, I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Cadney.
Objection!
I think I see it, Your Honor. When you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. As poor hearing and out to make mistakes as a result.
How did you...
Thanks, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to do? Oh, wait, what? Okay, then. It's not Nicky. It's not who I thought it was, but I thought it was going to be Desiree, but there's only one other person it could be.
Have you ever forgotten what I used to tell you? A liar is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets.
That voice. No way.
Long time no see, Phoenix.
Mia! This is the true power of the crying channeling technique. I know that's really Maya who standing before me, but right now she's my mentor, Mia Fey.
Now let's do this.
Oh, but there's nothing we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, can't cross-examine.
Not yet. The testimony's not over yet.
What do you mean?
Your Honor, just you said something very interesting. You've cross-examined every statement a witness has made here today.
Yes, that's true, but...
Unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier after the cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. I am the ace detective as well as Master Mads. Combined verdict will verify that. This is one matter
Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance, so...
Very well, then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, are certain right to question them. Is all right with you, prosecutor?
Is something the matter with you, Goro?
There's a liar! Looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, look at...
let's hear it.
Huh?
It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination.
Mr. Gunner, what are you...
Very well then, Mr. Luke Cadney. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your remarks.
The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer.
So please,
give us one last bit of testimony.
Phoenix, this is it. This is the absolute last chance.
Yes, Chief.
The last testimony.
Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lonnie Taylor. I did leave to see what about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photo readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Wonder Light. Thanks to the key card and wallet, it was abundantly clear who was there. I was also to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once, but it did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his musty mascot, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim, like name is just mistook the colour of the jewel. Zapani! Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. His testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well.
The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict, I think.
But of course...
But how did you know about the emergency buzzer?
The police investigation documents went directly through me. And I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, sir lawyer.
You're gonna make even more trouble for us now, sir lawyer.
I won't allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honour.
We cannot postpone Newcastle trial any longer. This is your last chance.
Hang on a sec. Just one chance?
Seems the party's about to begin.
Well, Phoenix, isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony? So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? Alright, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it.
Cup number 17, the last cup. Seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial.
I had to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony, and I need to point it out without presenting evidence. This means all I can do is find a contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination.
The last testimony. What was this job request? Mr. Abney, about this last remark.
You still don't get it, do you, Tripe? This isn't the time to impress the witness in every little statement. Well, I said this before. There's still one thing you haven't proven. This scum was in King Bullet's office then. And now it's time for me to drink my last cup.
How?
Guilty.
I think I know what it is. I was just curious to see if I could do anything. How did you know that he was wearing his outfit?
Objection!
Really? I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Gollo.
What?
Mr. Abney, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Abney? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Lowe was wearing his Master Mask outfit. Is that correct? Indeed, that's what I said, but deductions are absolutely foolproof. All accurate deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry, whatever you mean?
For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty.
When exactly did we learn the fact that Rondelot was dressed as Master Mask when he went to the scene of the crime?
It was just a few hours ago, back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare.
Sorry, I just never mentioned switching up until now. That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Abney? There is no way that you should have known about that! You're in the next courtroom being tried as Master Masks, and enlighten us! Just how did you know about that piece of information?
Objection!
Yeah, well...
Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand.
And it's those chances I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Lowe was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There's one and only one way for Detective Abney to find that out. Only one.
One way, you say?
Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
But Mr. Light never saw his attacker, so there's no way to tell whether or not the real killers look at me.
It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head.
Just what are you implying?
Mr. Light saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight.
Impossible!
Detective Atney, you saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. It's the only way you could have known that Ron was wearing. Earthquake! No, he's rising. He's rising.
Take a good look, everyone! Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself! Here I am, the tragic clown!
That's the same line you gave yesterday.
But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time.
What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Abney, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Abney tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Mask in order to escape his true crime.
And to that end, he came up with this plan. To use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi.
At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth.
Excuse me.
I came very close to besmirching the record of an innocent man, besmirching him with the title of murderer.
Don't ignore me!
Oh, I didn't realize you were here.
Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict.
I know, you never committed any murder.
That's right. I'm so glad to understand that, but I really am Nasty Mask!
Huh?
So, fix that trial yesterday. I'm innocent now, right? Nah. What was it you said? Double jeopardy?
Not too much it.
I've been curious.
Alice? What do you think, man?
The defendant says the rule double jeopardy stops it. A defendant can now be tried twice for a crime which he was once found innocent.
Then Master Mask is really innocent.
It would seem so. For now.
For now.
Now then, disqualifies the defendant.
Not guilty. Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this is so good until I see the thing is like this. October 14th, 3:35 p.m.
You did it, Phoenix!
Thanks, yeah. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah. Augustus Maya doesn't call on me much these days.
Oh?
I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. Well, Maya, she's just kind of torn these days.
You mean about becoming the master of Kurain General School?
Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother.
Missed your fate, right?
What, your Cool Phoenix?
Of course.
Well then, see you around.
Man. Oh, Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. Light. Thank you so much. No, wait. Not really matters anymore, though.
Oh, come on, just be happy already.
Maya.
You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off with this nasty mask to boot.
But in exchange, I lost everything.
Huh? What do you mean?
See, security information from KB Security becoming Nasty Mask. I did all for one reason, for her. You mean your wife, Desiree? She hates criminals more than anything. And come to think of it, she was held hostage by some murder, wasn't she? She always says how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security, I lost all the money I had. She wouldn't stay, man. She wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. So that's why we became Nasty Mask. Yeah, but it's all over now. Broken Bulk and everybody put to get back together. That's not true, right, Nick? Right. Really? Can we really go back to the way things were? You'll be fine. Nick can prove it. I can? I can? Yeah, I wish you would check with me first. Isn't it the wallet? Oh!
Take that!
Secret Urn! This is what I was all about it. Desiree, your wife, she always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
There you are.
Mr. White!
Yeah, Ronnie, you're innocent. I'm so happy.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you?
Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you quit KB security. I never imagined that you were really Master Mascot. Mr. Light, what are you gonna do now that you know? You're not really gonna leave him, are you? Oh, come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How can I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast, there's nobody can ever get away from me.
But didn't you say that you hated criminals?
Oh, I only hate people who are so canny and sneaky. Like that detective.
I see.
My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them, like a man. This of a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitements.
Jesse! Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you?
Nicky boy!
Yeah?
I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. He's so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us.
Oh, well... Take care of yourself.
You too, Nicky boy.
I can feel my face going red.
Mistake, Mr. Meyer. Congratulations.
Talk about bad timing.
Mr. Nick, how could you? Ow! When you're measuring for Mr. Meyer. No, you gotta go. Never forgive me. Never, ever.
Well, so just as the case came to close, so too did my consciousness. Ron said to know that Broken Bulk can never be put together. But, that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together, even better than it was before. Ah, there we go. Episode 3, Recipe for Turnabout. Ooh. Dun 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 dun. But this is where I'm going to leave off for today and start the investigation tomorrow. But if you guys did enjoy this episode, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help. Click the bell icon down below to be notified when I live stream or upload a video. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!